Hey, love and peace. This is Ray. I want to talk about characteristics that we need in order to be successful. I'm just going to list as much as I possibly can here. There's so many of them. But the ones that I've realized that we need usually the most of are the ones that allow us to continue forward as we're going through the process, when we're dealing with ups and downs in our lives. There are certain processes and things that we must understand, and you need to make sure that you have the right mindset or the right characteristical traits that are going to get you through it. Characteristical traits, I mean, everybody knows that you can develop the characteristical traits, you can develop that mindset. And so this is something that's very important to understand and to notate as you continue to progress and to basically continue to grow on your journey. So what are some of the characteristical traits that we need to be successful? Okay, to be successful on our path all the time, all right? Now, we have some big characteristical traits, some major characteristical traits, such as, determination, perseverance, faith. There are different things like that. And those just to mention a few, because like I said, there's so many. But what are the ones that you need to have all the time? And the ones that I feel that you need to make sure that you have is, of course, faith. You have to have unconditional belief. Your mind has to be at a point where you're not questioning. No matter what's happening outside of you, you should not be questioning anything. You should, and what I mean by that is not that you don't question the situations or the events, stuff like that. You ask questions. You got to ask questions. But what I'm talking about is you don't question what you believe within yourself. So to speak, let's say, for example, you believe that you're gonna be an artist or a singer, and that's something you've been wanting to work on for a long time. You've been working on it. You've been taking all the right steps. You've been doing everything that you need to do. You've been aligning yourself, your intent with an external action. You're doing all those things. You're on your path. You're being strong. But like I said, what are the characteristics that you need all the time? You're gonna hit the bumps in the roads. You're gonna go through the trials and tribulations. You're gonna be tested. So you gotta have that sustainability to keep you going. So some of the characteristics that we're gonna need, again, is faith. You gotta believe, no matter what anything happens to you, no matter what anyone tells you, you have to believe in your own dream. You have to believe that it's already happening. It's already is. Then there is no. You shouldn't have the doubt. Your mindset should be of absolute belief. Don't question how you're going to get there. Don't question why it's taking so long or whatnot. You want to get your mind at a place where you just let it go. Just do it. Keep doing what you got to do, and let go of any resistance, any stress, any doubt, any worry. Live as if it's already happening. Okay? It's similar to breathing. You don't wake up every night, or you don't go throughout your day thinking, oh, am I breathing? Am I breathing? Am I going to breathe later on? Am I going to breathe later tomorrow? No. You know subconsciously that you're breathing, and that you've always breathed, and you will breathe later on. That's just an absolute absolute faith that you have in the fact that you're breathing. You don't even question it. So that's the kind of same mindset you have to have, where you don't even question, are you, what do you call it? Are you going to achieve what you want to achieve? Are you going to be successful when you want to be successful? And you don't question any of that. All you are doing is every day you're doing whatever you can to continue to remove any resistance, anything that's blocking you, any blocks from, that's what you do. That's what you do every day until you get to where you need to be. That's basically how it works. All right. So First characteristical trait is absolute faith. We don't question, we just know. That's it. Well, so what is another characteristical trait that you have to have? Remember, these are traits that we develop. You have to have the characteristical trait of patience. Patience is huge, okay? Patience is such a huge thing. Now, you have to have the patience to muster the storm. You have to have the patience to go through the ups and downs, the trials and tribulations. You just have to have that patience. You can't question, when is it going to happen? How is it going to happen? Is it going to happen tomorrow? Is it going to happen next week, next year? You have to have patience. Patience with yourself, patience with circumstances and situations that you're going to be dealing with. You have to have that patience, okay? That has to be a key factor. So that's another characteristical trait that is very important. Another characteristical trait that you have to have, so important to have, is the laser-like focus. You have to know that what your true desire is, and that nothing is gonna distract you from it. You have to have that laser-like focus, that knowing, that absolute knowing that this is what I want to do, and nothing is gonna change it. You have to have absolute clarity. That absolute clarity, or that absolute focus, is just the knowing. What we call it, the knowing. You just know. You just know before anything. Before any signs, before anything manifests, you just know that you're going to be that doctor. You just know that you're going to be that singer. You just know that you're going to be that writer. You just know that you're going to be, that teacher, or, you're going to get that car or that house. You just know. You don't need to know how you know, because that's where we go back to number one, characteristical traits number one is faith. You just believe. You chose to believe. And then you have that laser-like focus that you just stay on point. That laser-like focus is going to allow you to cut through all the nonsense, all the distractions, all the lies. Because if you know where you're going, you may not know how you're going to get there, but you know where you're going, or what you want, or what you're going to do, or what your true desire and purpose is. When you have that absolute clarity, you really can't get lost. Sometimes you get sidetracked, but you get right back on quick. It's like so fast. You're like, boom, okay. And there are times where you with absolute clarity, you have people, circumstance, situation in your life that just don't vibrate right with you. And when you have that, you're just like, look, I know this ain't right for me, and I'm just gonna get rid of it. And boom, you do. Okay. So that laser-like focus is another, which is absolute clarity, is another characteristical trait that we must develop. All these things are developed. You can develop them. No one is born with these things. All right. Now, the other thing that you want to have, another characteristical trait that you want to have, is you want to be able to know that things are the way they should be. In other words, so you want to be able to know that things are the way they should be. It's not a coincidence. You want to develop the characteristical traits that things are the way they should be. Things are the way they're going to be. What's for you is for you. So you have to have that characteristical trait that you just trust in the process. The characteristical traits of trusting in the process. The process is correct. The process is not wrong. The process works. It works. And so you got to develop that characteristical trait of trusting within the process. Trusting that this stuff works. Trusting that the universal laws work. What you're doing works. The universal laws work. When you're applying them, trust in them. When you're lost, or you feel like you're lost, you have that illusional feeling of being lost, boom, go right to the process, and there's no way you're gonna not get back on track. Okay? That's another characteristical trait. One other characteristical trait that you must develop, above all, is being able to let go. So to speak, let go, let God. Let go, let universe. You just have to develop the characteristical trait and understanding that we do not control anything. Are we co-creators? Yes. We're co-creators based off the fact that we have the power to choose. Remember, our true power is in the choice. Every time you choose, you're creating. And when you learn, just a little FYI, when you really learn how to be aware of your choices, that's when you become truly a manifester or a creator of things. Why do I say that? It's because when you really truly understand how to think consciously, because all our choices are already made subconsciously. We're already making choices that we're not even aware of subconsciously. So you've made it a choice, whether you're making a choice or you're not making a choice, you already had made a choice subconsciously. Okay? So our job is to learn how to make choices consciously. Okay? So we have to be able to do these things. You got to train yourself to do that, to develop all of these characteristical traits that I'm putting on the table. They're so important for the continuation and while you're on the process, while you're on your path. Letting go, let God. Okay, develop that characteristical trait. You gotta understand you don't control anything. Once you understand that and you say, okay, I don't control anything, I only control not what's happening outside of me, I control how I react to the circumstances, situations, and events. When you do that, and then what happens is that's where the faith characteristic kicks in. You let go, knowing, having the faith, unconditional faith, that it's already on point, it's on path. Everything the way it should be. Okay? So when you truly understand letting go, let God, you understand that is one of the biggest things that keeps us, a lot of times people don't let go, let God, so that keeps us from allowing or manifesting what we want into our lives. But when you develop that characteristical trait, you actually start to develop, and manifesting is much quicker, much quicker. You're able to, because what happens is when you let go, let God, you're actually letting the universe work side by side with you, because there's it's 2 points to the manifestation process, which is one, you're co-creator, 2, the universe is the other half of the creation process. That's the other co-creator. So when you let go, let God, it's like saying, okay, you already know what I want, I already put it out there, and so the universe is my partner in creation. So now we're going to work in perfect harmony to manifest what my desires and wants are. And that's what co-creation is. Okay? You can't co-create, you cannot co-create if you're trying to control the circumstance, situations, and event, which again, it's impossible. You're trying to control that, which you can't even control your own emotions or reactions to what's happening to you outside. How you expect to control something that's beyond the physical? You just can't. Okay? So again, that's another characteristic we have to develop, is to learn to just let go and trust. Another characteristical trait we have to develop that's very important is developing the instinct of trusting within your higher self. In other words, learn to develop the characteristical traits that above anything or anyone, whenever you need advice, whenever you're seeking that answer to a question, whatever it is, learn to trust within yourself. Learn to go within, because there's no saying go within or go without. You want to learn how to go within yourself. You want to learn how to trust your instincts. Okay, your instincts is just another terminology that I could use a whole bunch of different terminologies to describe what I'm about to say here. But your instincts, that gut feeling, your intuition, again, many names, same thing, is just your higher self, your spirit, or God, source, trying to explain to you that, look, you already have the answer to everything. And that's what most of us find it hard to believe, that we don't have the answer to all the questions. We spend so much of our lives looking at others for the answers to things that we already know the answers to. Okay? That's why whenever you are learning how to communicate with, in the world, whether it's in business, whether it's in person, whether it's in any relationship, you're going to find out that sometimes the biggest part of communication is listening. Because when you learn how to listen and then you reflect that information back to the individual that's asking you the question, you're going to realize that you're a superstar, because that person's going to feel connected to you. That person's going to feel like you're saying, you know exactly what to say, how to say it. You're just so wise. The truth of the matter, and here's something for most people, that a lot of us get fooled by that. We get advice from the wrong people, and there's just, they seem like they're gurus. They seem like they're masters, and like they understand everything. When it's a lot of times, you're still a master in the state of awakening, and you're wise, but because you haven't learned to trust yourself, you haven't recognized the mastery or the master within yourself. And so what happens is that you start, connecting with this person or people, and you ask them for the advice, and they're so good at listening that they tell you or reflect to you back the same thing. And sometimes some people just, they do it and they have no ill intent. Others do it to try to make themselves feel like, they're illusionary. They're not real. They make themselves look like they're masters, but they're not masters, when in fact they're just utilizing your own mastery to reflect back to you. And they are aware of this, and then they basically take you for a fool. They trick people like that, and they consume your energy, emotional vampires, and whatnot. So we must learn to avoid a lot of those traps and those tribulations and a lot of getting lost. We must learn to trust in ourselves. We must learn to trust in who and what we are, and the only way you can develop that trust, that connection with Source, with God, the understanding of how to connect with flow, then that is through self-reflection within, through meditation, through that time with self. Okay, so that's another characteristical trait you have to develop, which is the listening and the trusting of the self. Okay, of the internal self. The more you do that, you start to find that you don't even talk to people as much as before, and that you don't need no confirmation from anyone or anything, because you're getting it. You've already got it, and you've trusted in the fact that that you know, because you do know. All right, so that's something you got to. That's another characteristical trait you got to develop. So these are just a few of the characteristical traits you need to have to develop in order to continue on your path to be successful. These are some of the most valuable ones. There are a whole bunch of other ones, and I'll try. If you have any questions or any requests on if you want me to do another video to talk about these other characteristical traits, I can go in order, they'll help you as the best that hopefully they will, as much as I'm hoping that this information will help you. As always, don't forget to subscribe to my channel. Give me a thumbs up. I appreciate it. If you have any questions or comments, either shoot me out an email to youinterpretation@gmail.com, or just, comment below. As always, this is Ray. Love and peace. You take care. Bye.